You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1455. Today's tip is an excerpt from the Dressage Radio Show, featuring co-hosts Reese, Koffler, Stanfield, and Philip Parks, along with their guest, Alice Tarjan. And they will be discussing why it is important to praise your horse, even when he or she didn't get it just perfect.
Well, tonight I'm so happy for our tip of the week to have Alice Tarjan on the line. Alice, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we are so excited to have you discuss. You've got a great thing because you're very successful training young horses and international Grand Prix horses all the way up. So what is our trainer tip of the week?
It would be to praise horses for effort and ideas rather than for actual things. So for instance, if you want to take the P off, it starts with barely looking like anything where you just want your horse to jig a little bit, and anything towards that idea I would praise, even though it's going to take a while before it actually looks like a P-off per se. So I'm very careful as long as the horse gives me effort, I'll praise it. And as long as the horse is thinking in the right direction, I'll praise that too, even if it's not actually getting to the ultimate, whatever it's going to look like, whether it's a flying change or a pirouette or a P-off quite yet.
Well, and I love this tip because I think all of us, I've certainly done it. It's not exactly in my mind what I want. Maybe it's not a Piaffe. Instead of thinking about development, right? And that's what I think is so important that you think about as you're doing this is how is the horse developing? Are they thinking the way you want them to think, right? I mean, that's what I'm taking from this and as a good reminder as well.
Yes, for sure. For sure. I try to praise the horses and for thinking the right ideas. And for giving me effort, for trying. And even if they try and they give me the wrong thing, I'll praise that too, just because I want them to feel like they can make as many mistakes as they want. That's okay. But they just have to try to play the game.
Yeah. When I'm training horses or trying to help people train their own horses, I start to think about, what are the ingredients I'm trying to instill in the horse's training? You guys were talking about Piaffe and that's great, but even all the way down to a leg yield, where you think what's the simple ingredient I need, moving away from the leg, and then as long as they move away from the leg, even if it's not super lateral with front end and back end, and it's, it's not a perfect leg yield, but if you're trying to introduce a new concept to the horse, then you have to praise anything that's in the direction of, a leg yield, for instance, or a half pass or a travers, even if you've got a great idea of what it will be in the future, you need ingredients first and you need the idea first, and then you can add the polish and the power and the strength.
Absolutely. So thinking about the leg yield. So if you put your leg on your horse and it didn't move away from your horse, right? And you ask again and again, you don't get anything. And then you tap it with the whip and maybe it jumps off the whip and goes forward. But at that point, I would still praise the horse because it still did something, even though it didn't even move off the leg laterally. At least it did something off the leg, right? So it's thinking in the right direction. Yeah. So you praise it and then you go back again and say, now if you can move it a little bit sideways. Yeah. But any kind of effort or idea going towards the right direction for me is more than enough, and to take the pressure off.
Well, I think that's
absolutely it's great.
So important because I think as riders, we can be pretty laser focused. So you really have to think like that. Like the horse did respond. It wasn't exactly right, but there was a response, because I think if you shut them down, then, eventually the horses are like, I don't know what you want and I don't want to try. So I think that's...
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think that they have to, and again, even if it's a mistake, like you would say, okay, so you tapped the horse and it went forward rather than sideways, and that's not what you're looking for, but it did do something. It made an effort to play the game. And for me, that's all they have to do is put the effort forward. Yeah. And then it's a matter of trying to direct the energy and show them which way to put that energy per se. Yes. But I think that people say, well, no, it was still naughty because it didn't move off the leg and I asked it to move sideways. And for me, it's like, no, the horse did do something. It just doesn't understand. That's okay. They can make as many mistakes as they need to along those lines. Like mistakes are fine. I'm good with mistakes.
Yeah. I think so too. And then you at the end of the day, you get horses that'll fight for you and they want to understand what you want. So I think it's
because
in the
they're
beginning.
getting rewarded for the effort. Absolutely. Yeah.
No, I love it. Well, Alice, thank you. This is a great reminder for all of us, as you're riding every day, like, what am I asking for? And is my horse trying? And you do such a beautiful job with your horses. So thank you so much for your time tonight for our tip.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, there you have it. Horse Radio Network has thousands of engaging podcasts for horse people, and you can have them sent right to your phone. Download the free Horse Radio Network app for your iPhone or your Android, or you can subscribe via your favorite podcast player. This episode was brought to you by the HRN Auditors, and if you want to become one and qualify for auditors-only perks, go to horseradionetwork.com and look for the Auditor banner. This is Coach Jen, and I will be back again soon with another tip. Until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.